Welcome back to Lawn Dude Unearth, where we like to dive into whatever topic comes to mind each and every week. Every week we have an installment on mental health because it's important, man. You got to check on your people. You got to check on your people and have your people check on you. It is important, man. It's important to me that we continue to have discussions on mental health because it's just not talked about enough. Now we're going to cue the intro. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to Lawn Dude Unearth. Man, it's been a minute since I said that one right there. I'm gonna start this podcast a little different. You know, I'm gonna have to be completely honest here and give you the real deal, Holyfield. I didn't actually feel like recording this episode. Not last week, not this week, not most of the year so far. It's February 2026. First week's behind us. Second week is ending. We're already about to be, not even about to be, we're already in the middle of the month of February. It's crazy to say that considering it seems like we just started this year. 2025, 2025 took more out of me than I honestly care to admit. Lost clients, lost momentum, lost that internal fire for a minute. That internal fire that, gets me to that stage of being all gas, no brakes, as y'all know I like to say. Not loss of faith, but just a loss of fire. Loss of fire to be, even passionate for what I do for a living. I got tired. And why? It's the weight. It's been gut punch after gut punch lately. We've lost our two biggest commercial contracts that got year-round services, 12 months out the year. There was services and payments coming in. The kind, the kind of contracts that stabilize everything. And to be completely real with you, one of them I expected to lose simply because they want us to do a bunch of stuff and not charge extra to do those things. So when we actually sent them the numbers for what it would be for the new season, they rejected it. Well, actually, I take that back. For the 7 years we serviced this property, we did 2-year contracts at a time. And what they would do is at contract time, we would just submit the contract. They would actually submit their contract to us and then leave the pricing part blank so we could put our price in. And what I would do is I would edit the contract to where it was our contract and not just 100% their contract. And basically that was our way of meeting in the middle to the point where it was the same contract created by both of us being sent back and forth every 2 years. So this year they did something new where they filled in the price. It was the same price we got paid the last 2 years. And I don't know if they were under a rock or what, but anyone around us knows everything around us is just going up expense wise. Everything is going up. So to be given the same price, I could have got the contract. I will reiterate that. I could have got the contract had I agreed to go for the same price we were uh, receiving the last 2 years. And this was with us doing a lot more things around the property that I don't even usually do for a lot of other properties. Almost treating me like I'm a property manager for that big commercial property. I'm supposed to let them know on things that was going on with buildings that has nothing to do with the landscape. They wanted me to pull out, signs from other people advertising. Um, all these things they wanted in the contract, but didn't want to pay the extra for me to do it. And on top of everything else, even if I decided to compromise with them, this is the same client that kind of put us in a position throughout 2025 with late pays. Like I'm talking 2, 3 months. And I don't know how many times you guys heard me say on this podcast, but by the time they finally pay, we would have already had to come up with another solution, whether it's a high interest credit line or, you know, whatever's in reserve and draining that out to cover them. So by the time the payment came in, it really didn't help us. We were already in a deeper hole. So, make a long story short, I expected to lose them. But our number one contract, I did not expect to lose. This is HOA that has board members. I would like to say I got along with everybody that was on the board, but this year is the one year they received a lot of new board members, and they had no relationship with me. They didn't care how long I've been doing the property. It was more so about the numbers, and they didn't like that my numbers came in higher, despite it being a property that takes a lot of hands-on labor. So both of these properties were a lot of work. Um, I'm not upset to lose the one that I spent all my time explaining. I was kind of upset to lose the number one contract because I did not see that one coming, but at the same time, it was a lot of logistics and a lot of facilitating. It took a whole lot of mulch, and as a lot of you know, I am currently a solo owner operator. That was the one job every year I had to figure out how to get some help to take care of the mulch. Because again, it was a lot of mulch, a lot of logistics every week, week in and week out, taking care of this property. So I look at that as a blessing in disguise. Another thing that happened was we finally got snow, which normally would feel like, overflow, so to speak, like a blessing, like an added blessing. Because I had to reword that because at the end of the day, it is a blessing because it's still going to help us. It's just one of those situations where instead of it like building margin, it's almost like plugging holes, you know. Then on top of that, my truck goes into the shop. Now I own a diesel truck, Ram 2500, and most know that these new 6.7 Cummings or 6.7 Power Stroke, any diesel that's out there, newer diesels, always have issues when it comes to emissions. So when I was plowing, this was ice that we were plowing. It's mini lots because I have a V plow. I had to run into the lot in the straight V position to open it up. And then, my brother from another mother would be in his Ram 2500 with a straight blade. on all these sites, and he would come behind me on the sites after I opened them up, and he would go ahead and start widening out the parking lots. And usually I take one portion of it, and he would take the other portion, or sometimes we're tandem plowing. Either which way, the check engine light came on at about 4 a.m. one of those mornings, run into a parking lot. And I didn't think nothing of it. I got the reader with me. I kept clearing it, kept saying that a lot of times that pops up, that code I was getting when truck is under stress, you know what I mean, from pushing snow. But at the time, what I didn't think of is, I've had the truck since the end of 2022. We're in 2026 right now. I've never had this problem, no matter what I've done with the truck. So I finally took it to the dealer this week, thinking warranty work. It's emissions. The EGR code keeps popping up. Come to find out, the warranty I have on that truck, after spending a whole day between the service writer and the Ram customer care, the emissions warranty only goes up to 50,000 miles. I'm at 55,000 miles. So, make a long story short, my heater grid completely clogged, needs to be taken out and cleaned. My EGR has a leak, needs to be completely replaced. So, when I get called, it's to be told that it's out of warranty, and the estimate is $3,500. $3,500 after having to get new tires before the last storm, because the old tires I had on the truck weren't it was time to get them replaced, especially for driving on all that ice. And for a truck of that size to get decent tires, unfortunately it's about $2,000 to get tires for that. I had to do it, so I had traction going at these people's properties in the snow and ice. Comes with the business. But what I didn't see coming was this hit in the repair work. So just like that, that will test you. That will definitely test you. That'll make you get real quiet. That'll make you question your energy. And the honest truth, for a minute, I didn't feel like speaking on any of it. I didn't feel like recording motivational things as I always do. Because how do you motivate others when you're absorbing hits yourself? But here's what God pressed on me. My motivation is not the requirement. Obedience is. I don't record because I feel inspired. I record because that is what I'm called to do. Faith under pressure. Faith under pressure. See, faith isn't tested when things go smooth. Faith is tested when the income shifts, the contract disappear, the repairs stack up, the numbers don't add up, and you will say, God, I trust you. Anybody can talk faith when money's flowing, but can you speak life when you're under pressure? Can you stand when you don't feel strong? That's faith under pressure right there. That's obedience over emotion. Because in the middle of all that, in the middle of all that, this is where my perspective shifted. This is where my perspective shifted. I took my daughter to the father-daughter dance. Suit on, she's dressed up, music playing, and for a couple hours, none of the contracts mattered, none of the repair bills mattered. None of the pressure mattered. She just needed her dad. Having quiet time watching shows in the afternoon with my family does the same thing for me. These moments remind me this isn't just about business. This is about legacy. This is about showing up. So you know what you got to do in these moments? Come on, man. Y'all know what I'm about to say. You got to check on your people, man. You got to check on your people. That's why I always say check on your people. You never know what someone is carrying. You never know what someone is going through. The business owner smiling online, the dad clapping at the dance, the man leading prayer might be taking hits you'll never see. And sometimes the enemy doesn't attack your belief. He attacks your energy. He attacks your momentum. He attacks your drive. But here's the truth. Momentum doesn't come from, let me reword that. Momentum doesn't come before obedience. It comes after. You don't wait to feel ready. You move and the feeling follows. You don't wait for everything to stabilize. You stand. Instability builds around you. God doesn't bless comfort. He blesses consistency. He blesses the man who says, I'm tired, but I'm still moving forward. If you're listening to this right now and you're exhausted, you're not weak, you're under pressure. If you feel like it's hit after hit, you're not being punished. You're being strengthened. Pressure doesn't mean stop. Pressure means build. Refinement isn't comfortable, but it produces something stronger. This year might not start smooth. You might not feel motivated, but you have people depending on you, your family, your spouses, your significant other, your children, your calling, and maybe you don't feel like showing up, but you show up anyway because obedience over emotion builds resilience. I'm going to say a quick prayer. I know that not everyone is religious, but again, this is my podcast. I believe in God. I am a born again believer. I'm going to say a prayer here. Dear Lord, strengthen the fathers and the mothers carrying weight quietly. Strengthen the business owners pushing through laws. Strengthen the families depending on someone who feels tired but refuses to quit. Help us move when we don't feel like it. Help us trust you when the numbers don't add up yet. And remind us you're not done with us. In Jesus' name, amen. This is faith under pressure. This is obedience over emotion. This is hit after hit, gut punch after gut punch, and still standing. And we're not quitting. We're building depth. Again, and we're not quitting. We're building depth. Pretty sure you can't understand what I'm saying? Depth. We're building structure. We're building foundation. This is Lawn Dude on Earth. Now let's get to work. Be blessed. Peace. I also got tired.
Thank you for listening to Lawn Dude on Earth. We talk about all kinds of things here. the good stuff, the tough stuff, and everything in between. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star review. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and have a blessed day.